All right, hey, how's it going? Narrative mindsetters. Hope everybody's doing all right. Slow early, give you a little time to wake up, but all in all, get on up. So, today's video, I'm gonna make a video about. I'm making a episode about making an episode about my first. What's it been a first? My first month, and the kind of the truth that you need to know about Amazon DSP, right? So, if you haven't done Amazon DSP and you're looking for something, and you're kind of looking for something, and you're thinking, okay, I'm gonna go do Amazon DSP, and I'm gonna just get a truck and I'm gonna deliver packages, and it's pretty simple, yada yada yada. Well, I have news for you. Number one, when you get there, you have to, the process you have to learn, not a big deal. But the minute that truck starts moving, you're under Netradine camera, which is like micromanagement on steroids. So it's 10 miles an hour on your way to the building, 5 miles an hour when you get in the building. And sometimes you have to go through this maze of bullshit because sometimes your order isn't ready. You got to go to this person on the computer. You got to take a picture. Then you got to stand there and wait on your order to figure out what goes in your truck, yada, yada, yada. You might get some carts and think that's all you got. They'll bring some stuff out late. Sometimes the stuff still ain't on your phone. So you're kind of running rampant for like a few minutes. Okay. So you also need to understand that when you get the job, you're on a nursery route. So it's like, I don't know, maybe 110, 120 stops. So you have to be careful because, you want to get done early. You don't want to get a rescue, yada, yada, yada. And I'll tell you something about that here in a minute. But you want to get done early like everybody else. You're in a rush to be like the other drivers because you don't want to be last in your mind. So you're out delivering. Number one, you're doing, if you aren't comfortable doing lots of U-turns in the middle of a street constantly in a 15-foot van, probably not the job for you. You're doing 100 to 200 stops per day. And by stops, I mean stopping the van, pulling the parking brake, putting it in park, taking your seatbelt off, getting the package out the van, delivering the package, reading the customer notes on your phone, putting the package where the customer wants it in the picture, then taking a picture if the customer wants it, placing it where the customer wants it placed. If there are any problems, calling the customer. And you have to call the customer, then you have to text them, then you have to call them again. If it's a business closed, you have to be right there at the door before you mark it closed. If there's a buzzer, you have to wait for the person to answer it if you can't get in. In apartments, you have to go in, each floor, yada, yada, yada. you know, every now and then you'll get lucky. You'll have a full tote that goes to one building. Those are pretty simple because you just drag the whole tote in there and empty it. But I'm just giving you an idea of each stop. Okay. Now remember, like I said, you're on the Netradine camera. So Netradine camera dings you for if you answer your phone while you're driving, if you touch your phone while you're driving, if you grab a drink while you're driving, if you don't pull up the parking brake, if there's a door open, if you're driving and somebody's standing right at their car and you don't slow all the way down, it dings you. Also, if the other night, I was doing my route and I was on my last tote and I think it was like 8:30, I believe. And like I said, I was on my last tote. I was a quarter of the way through my last tote. They sent me a rescue. I said, hey, thank you. I was very, grateful to the guy. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. Yada, yada. Yesterday, what happens? I look up. Oh, you get a write-up for getting a rescue. They encourage you to get a rescue, but you get a write-up for getting a rescue. Also, when you start, you're out there, your main focus is, let me figure out how to get these routes done, how to get these packages done. And you're trying to figure out your organization method. So you're kind of rushing through, you really don't understand the customer comments, because you're like, I got all of this stuff. I'm trying to get this done. Let me get these packages delivered, yada, yada, yada. A customer will complain if the package is not in the exact spot where the picture is that you also have to check on your phone when you get to an address. So I just want you to understand the magnitude of each stop. If they want it at the door, and you say, okay, I'm going to put it behind this pillar because the package also has to be secure, high stakes, hide and seek, then the customer will complain. I had a customer yesterday. He gave me the wrong security code, stood there right in front of him. He gave me the wrong security code 3 times. He sat there and watched me punch it in. Then I told him, I got to take the package back because the app showed him the app. It said I had to take the package back. He called Amazon and complained. It's like, so I want you to understand that magnitude, Had a guy, I understand where he was coming from, but he was like, don't walk on my grass. Number one, the part of the grass that I was walking on wasn't his grass, if you want to be technical. But, that's just, customer bullshit you deal with. And, but, the thing I want you to understand is they're constantly throwing more packages on you. And then they write you up for not finishing those packages. They encourage rescues, but they write you up for getting a rescue. Then you have to understand, after that first week of the customer bad comments or whatever, you may have delivered to a wrong address. If you're over the number, that's a write-up. The next week, got to remember, if you're over the first week, you're new. Second week, more than likely, you're going to be over the number again. That's another write-up. Then I had to tell the dispatcher yesterday because I got a distracted driving from the Netradine camera. And I told the dispatcher right there, I said, I just got a distracted driving. And look, good enough. I'm not sure if they're full of shit or not, but he said, we'll dispute it. I said, okay. But besides that, my route last night was pretty much what I prefer. But I'm not going to get that same route all the time, because you need to understand, I've had 160 stops 3 different days. One day I needed a rescue because that only works if the route is dense. If the route isn't dense, then those same 160 stops are going to take you a little bit longer. So when you get a rescue, then there goes a write-up. And to be honest with you, if I really wanted to bitch about it, I probably would have been like right on the edge, but I got 10 hours. They sent me a rescue at 8:30. So it's like, you didn't even, let me get through that next little bit of time that I had. So I could have fought it, but it's just, at this point, it's just like, I'm not going to sit up and argue about something like that. The only thing that makes Amazon worth going to is the number one, they pay you per hour. So compared to gig work, you're making money. And you work 3 to 4 days, then that's pretty good. But their logic doesn't make a lot of sense, because their logic is, hey, since this guy's getting done early, then we'll throw more packages on him. Then we'll make you a senior driver, which you get a helper, but they're doubling the maximum amount of packages. So now, instead of 160 packages, now you got 360. So don't think that just because you're a helper that it's going to be easier. Even though you got a helper, it's the same job. You're just working. You and your helper are just working twice as hard. And don't get me wrong, it's an easy job, but don't think that it's just, hey, I'm just delivering packages and I'm just going, la 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 la, whatever. No, you're picking your packages up from that first stop. You have to really let that sink in. I'm stopping and pulling the parking brake, putting it in park. Then either your packages are on your passenger seat, or you have to get up. If it's not in the box, it's an overflow. You have to get up, go to the back of the van, grab it, go to the customer, put the package on the porch, read the customer comments, put the package where they want it, scan it, take a picture, stand right there while you're swiping the picture, back to the truck, parking brake off, and drive, hit start travel on your phone, on to the next stop. And that's however many stops that you have on that trip. I think yesterday, I had probably about 30 stops an hour, maybe a little bit more. But that was only because of the route I had. That's not an everyday thing. If I had been in I forget that town. I can't remember the name of the little town, but if I had been there, then it would have been like, back-to-back cars, nowhere to park, one-way streets, and you trying to maneuver this 15-foot box truck making U-turns and all this other stuff. So it's just trying to give you the magnitude of the job so you know what you're getting into. And then also, when you do the job, they give you a phone that doesn't hold a charge. They give you this little battery pack. So about an hour or two into your route, then you have to plug this battery pack into your company phone or use your own phone. The other night, I had to go back and forth between their phone and my phone because their phone was dying. Then they send you a message saying, charge your phone up because we don't have any more battery packs. And oh, by the way, last minute notice, we're starting mandatory overtime tomorrow. Have a good day. And it's like, dude, this is, it's, utterly ridiculous for a company as big as Amazon to not have their shit together. You as an employee shouldn't have to use your own phone. Shouldn't have to carry around some charger. They should have, top of the line phones, constantly cycling through phones so that, their drivers are prepared considering the fact of everything that you're doing. It should be an automation, when you drop a package off. You should be able to, their system should be, you get up, you get to the door, scan the package, system automatically scan, picture, yada, 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 back to your truck. But it's like they want you to go through all of these steps. But hey, we're going to add, 80 stops to your route tomorrow, even though you got done yesterday. And it's just crazy. It doesn't make sense. But what I'm going to look at today, I did notice at the end of your route, they do give you the option to leave your own comments about how the route was. So I finally paid attention to it. And yesterday I put down the way I actually felt. How was this route? This route was crazy. Were you comfortable with it? Absolutely not. So, because it's Amazon giving you all these routes and keeping, upgrading your trips and everything. It's not your DSP. It's Amazon. So I put that down and we'll see how it goes today. Luckily, today is my last day, and then I think they got me on 3 days next week, which is perfectly fine with me because, after 4 days, you need a break from, because I'm 53 years old and it's not real easy on your knees. So that's just an overview of, what to look for when you're thinking about applying or going to work for Amazon. Now, I'm not downing anybody because it is a paycheck. But it's like at one point, you just get to a point to where I'm at, and I've only been there a month. And it's like, whatever. I'm doing my best. Y'all can keep writing me up, and I'll wait to get fired. And that's really all you can do. So, but I just wanted to get this episode in. I got to go sit down. So I got to be to work at, leave out here about 9. It's 8:01 right now. They usually have an hour of intense chill time before work. So wanted to give you guys some advice. Have a good one. Subscribe, leave a comment. Help this channel grow and my podcast. Appreciate you listening. Have a good one.